Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Anton Maroon, if you didn't know, and I'm usually the guy behind the camera. I'm actually really excited to film this tour today because there's something in this box truck that I have never, ever before seen in a van, a box truck, a tiny home. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. Please enjoy the video.
What's up, guys? This is my new van. Technically a box truck. Converted it into a little Teahouse on wheels. So this is a collaboration between me and my buddy Tim Sykes. We took a trip to Japan a few years ago and both loved the architecture so much that kind of wanted to bring it here to the States. So technically this is not really it's not a full house on wheels, it's more of an office on wheels that converts into a hotel room. It's a 2019 Ford E350 cutaway, so when it was made, it only had the chassis and nothing but the front cab. The box was created separately and put onto the chassis. It's a 10-foot long box, 79 tall and 78 wide. This Skylight probably took me a good month, and I want to say it was like $1,000 bucks. So this was not cheap. Nothing in this van was cheap. So I bought this van, what, 9 months ago. 9 months in and I'm finally done. This was the first project that I did. So I made the cab just a little bit bigger because it was super claustrophobic in there. And then I just started constructing this out of wood. So this is all poplar wood. Yeah, so the design I kind of came up with by drawing it and just trying to envision where I wanted the overhead storage, how I wanted this glowing window vibe. So this is part natural light and part I have lights back there. But like in the morning when I'm waking up, this is all natural light and this is like the main thing that glows in and wakes me up in the morning. This is just overhead storage, and I've redesigned this a few times.
Wow.
But it opens up, so the whole thing opens up like that. Yeah, so this is like my half kitchen area over here. And it's also, I guess, technically my bathroom area because it's got the mirror. I have these little slots for toothbrushes, and I can put my toiletries up here when I'm either cooking or even using it for the bathroom. I have this little flip-up table. When I was on the road, I've lived in this thing on the road off and on. I didn't really want to commit to a full kitchen, but I realized that I did want kind of a half kitchen, so I ended up using this makeshift basic jug right here that flips down. When I'm actually like washing dishes or anything, I just pop this thing open.
Oh, wow.
This thing on Amazon. This is kind of like a simplistic build that's all about aesthetics. So I didn't want it to have like, you know, a 3-foot high counter right here. I wanted it to be completely symmetrical. Like when I'm shooting from far back, because I'm a photographer, when I'm shooting from far back, I want to shoot in and it'd be just like this perfect symmetry, you know? Fridge and freezer right down here. So the idea, like I said earlier, is that this is an office that converts to a hotel room, and I like to think of like an office and a hotel room having a half kitchen, as in like they have a place to store leftovers. If you go out to eat, you throw your leftovers in the fridge, and then you got this up here and you can warm them up when you want it. And when I'm actually cooking this thing, I can pull this thing out and basically raise it up counter height, like counter's like 3 feet high or so. Throw that here, and then this here, and then I got the fridge and freezer right here. I got cutting board, pots and pans right here. This is actually a bigger storage space than it looks. Stove right here. Pull that out, I have a designated surge protector right there. And so I can kind of set this up so I'm cooking with this massive view out the back. And it's actually been a pretty good kitchen overall. I would say it's more than a half kitchen. It's like an almost kitchen.
You're the king of hidden compartments. What other kind of hidden storage do we have? What kind of other nifty utilizations of space we got going on?
Well, I mean, this isn't hidden, but I have all this storage. This was just using the space. And then I have this one over here, matching.
What is this?
They're just compartments, hidden compartments here. They're not hidden. You said it was hidden, but it's not hidden.
Yeah.
I guess this is the door to the cab, so you know, just the standard cab there. And at any point, I can stuff this up into this little hidden spot right here. You can actually get access to it right here, so you can see like that little storage through there. This is the toilet that pulls out. This is the composting sea head toilet. And this is actually all the electrical. So I have a charge controller and fuse blocks and bus bars, and then below that is just a little shoe stash. So I can fit like 5 different pairs of shoes in there.
The space is so deceiving. You come in here and you're like, there's not a whole lot of space.
It's smaller than the shorter Sprinter.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have the 144 Sprinter that I full-time live in, and that is 19 and a half feet long. This is 19. So it's 6 inches shorter than the short Sprinter. And then I guess I never went into this. This used to just be like an open space, but I was throwing bags there all the time, and I just didn't really like the look of bags just in the middle of the place. So I just basically designated this as proper storage. This is where I put all of my camera gear normally, and it has a locking padlock. So right now that's locked.
Padlock.
It's a little padlock, like a 3 padlock right there. You can see how it flips up like that. Easy way to lock something. And then this is just food, I guess smoothie blender, and then I'll throw food in there eventually. And then this is, yeah, more kitchen stuff.
Is that a concern to have like your expensive equipment in your van? Like, and
yeah, I mean, I was robbed in South America a few times. I've been robbed quite often, so I don't think I'm paranoid, but I'm definitely cautious, and most of my builds have like a safe or some sort of locking compartment like that.
yeah.
For me, it's like my computer, hard drives, and main like camera bodies and lenses, and all of that can fit in here. This is pretty big. It's pretty deep, like maybe 7 or 8 inches deep and 24 inches long, and whatever that is, 15 inches wide. These are, I guess, these are floating lantern lights. Just a design that I came up with late at night when I couldn't sleep one night. It was better in theory. It was a lot harder to do than when I thought it up. Took a good few days to finally get the rice paper fabric in there like tight like that, so that it doesn't sag or anything like that. And then on the top are wireless chargers. I've been putting wireless chargers in my builds for the last few years. But yeah, wireless charger on the top. Wow. And my mom came in and told me that I needed some green in here, so she gave me these little things. This is my mom's edition right here.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Actually, just met your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
Yeah, she loves talking van life with me. She's a big project person too, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Over here you got the inverter switch to turn it on, and then a battery monitor, 99%. That's good. These are this is the lights over here, and they're on dimmers. And then I have 2 more light switches here. This is these 2. I wired them on the same switch, so turn that on, dim it. And then this is the main lights over the desk / bed area that we'll get into here. This is the last feature that I just put in a few days ago. Anton, you saw the makings of this thing. Because I have a number of projectors in here, I feel the need to black it out sometimes in the middle of the day. And this is the vent fan, so I just wanted to black out the vent fan. I used the same company, blinds.com, to order a custom blind for this, 14 by 14 inches, standard vent fan. Can turn that on or off, and also can black it out, just like that. I've always wanted to black out for that thing. Alright, so my buddy Tim is a stock trader. He spends a lot of time on the computer at the desk, and he just wanted the most epic office space. So he knew how into camper vans I was, so this idea came about when he was just talking about what he thought would be the sickest office space on wheels. He was like, oh, I just want to hit a button and I want the walls to fall off. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen, Tim. Oh no, I want to hit a button and like, you know, it spontaneously I don't know what he said, but he's just all over the place, right? And then one time he said, I want to hit a button and I want to be levitated through the roof, like that scene on Gladiator, you know, when they're going up to like fight to the death. And I'm like, well, actually there is such thing as a bed lift that can raise you up slowly. So that was kind of the nugget of the idea that I wanted basically at any point be able to hit a button and potentially go through the roof. My custom Skylight is really just a bunch of plexiglass that's cut to the right size, and it has how many hinges? Like 8 hinges that I have to undo. So it's basically connected to the roof with you know that rubber sealant that's in like car doors that like keeps it from basically it helps road noise and it like seals it, makes it waterproof. That's what I put around the edges of this thing, and it's held together with 8 hinges, and then the whole thing can just pop off like that. So now it's just a complete open space up here. That was the first step that I had to figure out, is how to get, you know, the roof off like that. And then what looks like the ground here is not actually the ground, it's actually a Deadlift. So let me show you guys how that works.
This is the exciting part.
This is the ridiculous part, right?
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to see Tim doing this though. So I made the table to fit exactly through the cutout hole in the roof. And then you can just hop up to the roof. So this is a back deck on this section right here.
Oh my god.
It's a fun feature, right?
I'm in utter disbelief right now. That was the first time I've ever seen that. Whoa. I'm so happy right now that this exists.
All right.
All right, dude, that was amazing. That was amazing. Like,
it's like a little kid fun house, you know?
Dude.
Japanese tea house, fun house. Right?
It's like a childhood dream came true.
Pretty fun.
Your mom must be proud.
I brought her up there actually. It's on my account, Quinn's van. I have her going up through the roof.
Wow.
It took a little bit. Like I was explaining to my parents what I was going to do with this van, and they just couldn't understand. So I had to put each of them on it and put them through the roof. And they're like, okay.
Okay.
So let me show you the back deck. So the back deck wasn't part of the initial idea. I just kind of saw that there was a little bit of empty space underneath, because this false floor goes down to the level of the wheel wells, right? So there was like this big section that wasn't being used, so I used that to create a back deck. So bring that up a bit, and this section pulls out just like that. Initially I was going to try to make it so that it was strong enough to just hold people's weight, but I felt like it was probably going to break, bound to break. So upon some research, I found these stage legs. These are literally called stage legs. They're made for like pop-up stages, like, you know, New Year's Eve in New York City or something. They create a big stage. So they're meant to hold like thousands of pounds. I have one there and one here on each corner, just like that. Super sturdy. For sure.
This is so cool.
And so with these benches, I designed them to be adjustable. So these benches can pull out to the back deck. So, you know, I can throw these out, put them on the back deck. It's really cool bringing this to like the beach or somewhere like that, where you're on the sand. You can pull it out like that.
And just pretend like you're not in a van, and
Right.
just wonder why people are staring at you
Yeah,
like you're not in a van.
yeah. The first time I brought this thing to the beach, some random guy came up to me and wanted a massage. So
What?
I made my other van, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a sauna," and this one is a massage parlor apparently. So I don't know. There's definitely you know, I think I'm designing something specific and then it's perceived by the public as something completely different. So anyways, so I'll show you guys the bed mode now. Adjust the cushions a bit. I actually have them looped on here so that they don't move around when I drive. So I put these little loops on like that. The projector setup, obviously you want it to be darker. The darker the better to see the screen. And I just hook up my phone to the HDMI port and play anything off of Netflix or Prime, or can play like videos that I've taken on my actual phone, you know, like home video type things. So it's pretty fun. So this projector was the idea of it being more of like a business presentation when it's in bench mode or basically office mode. You can push a button and have the projector come down like that. Projector is up here. Pull down this little piece. Turn it on. Alright. Now it might sound weird or seem ridiculous to have two projectors in a van, but one is for the bed mode and one is for bench mode.
Netflix and chill. Is that Christian Bale? No, who is that? That's not Christian Bale.
No. So the idea was more so to have, like, you know, business reports up on this one, but it works really good for movies too.
I'd really like to end the tours with getting to know a little bit more about the person behind the build. What's your background?
I mean, I wasn't a builder growing up, but I was definitely a creative kid. Actually, I played around with wood a lot. So I cut out different like skateboard designs. I was really into skateboarding and surfing and stuff. So from probably about 12 years old, I was pretty good with the jigsaw. It was almost like I would like draw with the jigsaw and cut out different like shapes and stuff and put them into skateboard designs. And I would mess around with like grip tape design and things like that. So I was selling like custom skateboards in high school. So I was a little bit of like a creative businessman from like a pretty young age. And I didn't get into building vans until like 3 years ago. But the reason why I got my first van is just because I'm a travel photographer now. So it helped me stay out longer and wait out conditions and just be closer to the shots that I wanted to get. Because my photography is primarily in nature. I wanted to be out in nature more. So van life for me was definitely a practical answer to my current profession. And I guess when I got my first van, I realized that basically it was a game changer, and I really didn't want to even sleep in a house ever again. It was like this was where I belong, and it felt right. So instantly when I bought my first van, I realized that I was in this for the long haul, and that's when I started to design my own van, because I saw it as totally worth my time, because I knew I was going to be spending the majority of my time in a van. So I started basically taking apart like the van that I just purchased and started to think, how would I change it? You know, the bed's a little too big. That storage would be better designed if it had, you know, you got coyotes in the background.
Yeah.
But I just started to kind of like, you know, analyze the van that I had, and eventually I just had to make my own van, and that was in 2018 that I bought my first van and converted it myself. My first van ever that I lived in was probably in 2016, so been doing this for about 5 years, at least in van life, and I've been a photographer for about 7 or 8. So yeah, van life to me is just super practical given my photography, nature loving personality. And with this is a total Japanese inspired design. That's the reason for that is because I just loved Japan when I visited a few years ago, and I think there's just a simplicity to it that it's almost like I always want a simple life, but I never can fully achieve it. I went into this this profession thinking that, oh yeah, it would be like a kind of a dream life. It would be like running around, going on hikes, traveling. It would be a simple life and it'd be beautiful, but I have never really found that simplicity in my life yet. So this van is kind of my attempt to literally design something simple and like succeed in like the simple life. Even if my life itself isn't simple, I like to step into something like this and it somewhat feels like I'm successfully simplifying my life when I'm surrounded by architecture like this. And you know, the rice paper, it's nice in the morning to just wake up to natural light shining through the rice paper, and it's just, I don't know, I designed this to hopefully surround myself with simple architecture, and maybe that bleeds into my actual life, you know. That was the hope of it. But obviously the build itself isn't that simple. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crazy features in here, so the idea was that I want to surround myself with simple architecture, like beautiful design that also has a ton of wow hidden features that you wouldn't expect. And yeah, I feel pretty good about how it turned out, and I'm already planning out my next one, you know, based off of what I learned on this one.
What do you have to say for somebody that is about to embark on their own build, and maybe what is on the other end of all that hard work?
Especially if someone's embarking on their first build, I would just say like the most important thing is to go for it, to like make those decisions. There's a good chance you're gonna make the wrong decision, you know, at least one or two wrong decisions, and it will be a learning curve. It's just like basically my first build, I liked probably 90%, and that 10% eventually was enough for me to want to build another one. As in, like, it's important to like just get started and make those decisions, and eventually you'll realize exactly what you actually want. And maybe I don't know, I've heard a lot of people say that you can actually go out and rent vans to like understand more like what you want and maybe have a more successful first build. And that's probably a good way to go. I just know that rentals are kind of expensive, and I just like the process of designing a van too. And like, even if it doesn't turn out the most perfect van, it's still a very satisfying thing to go out and do something for yourself and design it for yourself. Your first build isn't going to be the cleanest, or like, you know, every decision might not be the absolute best, but it'll definitely be a learning process, and it's very satisfying to finish. You know?
Yeah.
For sure. And there's a sliding spectrum with everyone that I know that lives in vans. Some people are in it mainly for the money. Other people are mainly in it, like me, because it's actually like an asset. I'm not a van lifer, I'm a photographer who lives in a van. The van is a side aspect to my overall career. And I know a lot of people that just run businesses, online businesses out of vans too, and it's just literally their house. So like, there's just a sliding spectrum of like reason for having a van, right? And I think all of the above are totally awesome and cool reasons to get into van life. Like, if you don't have a business already, you can make van life your business if you're really that into it and jazzed about it. And you know, if that's the case, then you better get building, because the faster you get going and make your first van, and the faster you fail, the more you learn and the more you set yourself apart. Because like, the features that I've built into this van, I wouldn't have been able to do in my first van, because these are things that haven't really been done. And like I said, like, my buddy Tim was like, I want the walls to fall off and all these things, and I'm just like, I'm 5 years into van life, and I know that that's not even something to think about or consider, you know. But then he's like, oh, I want to go up through the roof, and that one was like, wait, you know, Happy Jack makes this lift that goes up, and I've always wanted to do a box truck, and I could just cut off the roof, and then he could just go straight through the roof, you know. So like, So just the more time you put in, the more builds you make, the more you realize what's possible and how to push the boundaries. And I mean, given that the Happy Jack system, the thing that goes up and down in this has been a massive headache. You know, it's broke probably 4 times. You know, Anton, you came and it broke on us, like, and you had to come back and film the van tour. Like, that's the reality of the 9 months it took me to build this thing, is like me trying to innovate. So many things have gone wrong and I've had to pivot, things have broke, I've had to buy multiple like sliding blackout curtains because the string kept breaking. So like, it's kind of like a give and take. Like for me, I just wanted to see what was possible and make something really, really wow factor and cool. So this van is not practical in any way. I'm not going to live out of this van. I have my other van that I live out of. You know, this was more of like an experiment between me and my friend Tim, and I love how it turned out. Tim hasn't even seen it yet, so I'm excited to show him. But yeah, my van life situation is much different than most people's. You know, I have 2 vans. Super fortunate to have 2 vans, but like, you know, this one is realistically like a collaboration between me and somebody else, so it's pretty unique in that way.
Awesome. Yeah, Quinn, I can't thank you enough for doing this tour, showcasing this just art piece. It really is amazing, and again, I feel like I'm a part of history. Where can people find you? On social media, on Instagram?
Yeah, my main account is everchanginghorizon, mainly nature photos on there, but sometimes I post van life. I have a designated van page. It's called Quinn's Van. My name is Quinn, hence Quinn's Van. And yeah, same thing on TikTok or Facebook too, Everchanging Horizon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.